Good evening. I am Nasa Kingu. Just a reminder, you can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages, all at TBC Online. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Dr. Sokoine, says African countries should unite in order to build strong economies and ensure peace and stability. She made the call during special celebrations to mark the 60 years of African Union AU in Dar es Salaam. Faith Ngaga has more details.
The event, which was attended also by various ambassadors, diplomats and government leaders to mark 60 years of African Union, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Dr. Sokoine, insists that Africa should build its economy based on its own heritage, values and creativity of its people.
Being the second largest continent by a geographical area and the most populous continent with 1.2 billion people, Africa offers many opportunities. May I make emphasis on the vast economic opportunities, including trade-related. I believe if we all commit to work together in promoting trade amongst ourselves, we will achieve aspiration of our Agenda 2063.
Dr. Tax appeals to African countries to maximize on economic opportunities that the continent provides by strengthening the trade between countries and effort to reach the Agenda 2063. She adds that Africa is the second largest continent with more than 1.2 billion people, and therefore it has various opportunities that, if used properly, will enable Africans to achieve the goal of implementing Agenda 2063, which is Africa's blueprint and master plan for transforming Africa into the global powerhouse of the future.
Peoples of Africa must pick up the flickering torch of African freedom, refuel it with their enthusiasm and the determination, and carry it forward.
Earlier, during the celebrations, the ambassador of the Comoro Islands in the country, who is also the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Ambassador El Badawi Mohamed Faki, says the African continent should be proud of the great success it has achieved recently. He insists that the success is due to the organization and establishment of the working systems of the African Union to address the various challenges arising from the issues affecting the world. The 60th anniversary of African Day was jointly organized by the government of the United Republic of Tanzania and the Association of African Ambassadors in the country.
Chief Secretary Dr. Moses Kusiluka says the higher education for economic transformation has to focus on preparing students to be competitive and relevant in the labor market. Here is a report prepared by Zuhura Ali, read by Lulua Muhammad.
Is that the launch of the university's sectoral advisory committee related to higher education of economic reform project, where students, academicians and education stakeholders meet. The Higher Education for Economic Reform project aims to bring about economic reforms by increasing admissions and improving the learning systems, as well as understanding the demands of the labor market in order to produce graduates who meet them.
The launch of the Sectoral Committee for Professional Advice aims to strengthen the good relations that exist between the college and the sector in our areas.
The committee you're launching today has a mix of the public and private sectors, but all of them have extensive professional experience in various fields. And with their advice, they can greatly help our college carry out its mission and responsibilities effectively. The vice principal of the university, Professor Evaristo Liwa, highlights steps taken by the university to tackle the employment challenges in the country.
In ensuring that students get a job anywhere, it is the quality of education that ensures that they can recognize and understand what they have learned and use it in the market.
The Chief Secretary, Dr. Moses Kusiluka, asserts the need for university curriculums to match the needs of employers, and universities are required to prepare graduates who are competitive in the market.
It is necessary to produce graduates with the professional and appropriate skills in meeting the needs of the labor market to help in industrial reform, as well as to increase attention to cross-cutting issues of gender equality, special education in disaster management, and strategies to deal with such disasters.
The formulation of the Sectoral Advisory Committee is part of the implementation of the Higher Education for Economic Reform project that will cost more than 900 billion shillings and is expected to benefit 22 higher learning institutions.
Thousands of Dar es Salaam residents are set to benefit from the implementation of water project following the World Bank approving a loan more than 11 billion Tanzanian shillings. Here's a report prepared by Harry Mabumo, read by Faithan Gaga.
The Uhuru Torch Race leader is here to officiate an important water project that is going to ensure reliable water supply to more than 12,000 residents of Dar es Salaam. TBC News witnesses the installation of pipes and the construction of tanks. Here, some residents explain how the project will solve their challenges. We never had access to water like this before. We only saw this in other areas. But now we are witnessing the installation of big water pipelines like this. We are very happy. We never had access to water. It was very difficult to access clean water. We are grateful now to get access to water supply. The DAWASA Acting Chief Executive Officer, Kiula Kingu, highlights how the newly launched project will solve water challenges in the area.
People used to use water from boreholes. That type of water was not clean and it endangered their health. We are grateful to President Samia for bringing us this water project. It is going to solve the problem of water shortage.
The Uhuru Torch leader, Abdallah Kaimu, urges the citizens to recognize the contribution of emphasis on economic diplomacy made by the sixth-term government.
The president is the one strengthening our relations with foreign countries. This goes hand in hand with strengthening diplomacy, and this made the World Bank to support us in development project.
The Uhuru Torch is in the region of Dar es Salaam, and on May 27th, it will be in the Ubungo district.
The former Prime Minister, retired Judge Joseph Warioba, who is also the Chancellor of Sokoine University of Agriculture, SUA, says that there is an importance of having right policies and programs to attract young people in the country into agriculture, insisting that the move will ensure sufficiency of food in the country. Warioba made the call in Dodoma during the special event to mark Sokoine Memorial Week, which celebrates the life and legacy of Edward Moringe Sokoine, the former Prime Minister of Tanzania. Here's a report prepared by Remia Sinti, read by Faithan Gaga.
It is the Sokoine Memorial Week to remember the late Edward Moringe Sokoine, the former Prime Minister of the first-term government, who died in a car accident in 1984 in Mvumero district in Morogoro region. His contribution to bring about reforms in agriculture, livestock and fishing sectors continues to live until today, and the Sokoine University of Agriculture, SUA, which is named after his name, continues to honor his legacy.
As part of honoring Sokoine, the Sokoine University of Agriculture has been celebrating his memory, including lectures involving senior national leaders, technological exhibitions, products and services, and scientific development conferences.
It is a day that has brought together various leaders, including the veteran politician Paul Kimiti, who uses the opportunity to talk about the late Edward Moringe Sokoine.
Let's create policies and guidelines that will make young people love agriculture.
Representing the Morogoro Regional Commissioner Adam Malima, the Mvumero District Commissioner Judith Nguli says the government will continue to honor the leader.
The government has put a lot of power on the youth, and you have to live the habits that will fail to achieve the goals you expected.
The former Prime Minister, retired Judge Joseph Warioba, there making the call in Morogoro and not Dodoma, as I said earlier. The chairman of the Political Parties Council, Juma Ali Khatib, says that the general meeting to discuss the new constitution is expected to be held in August this year, while the preparations for the meeting will begin in June. He made the announcement in Dar es Salaam, where also he thanked the president, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, for providing 1.5 billion Tanzanian shillings for the council's operational activities.
Baraza la vyama vya siasa linampongeza sana Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania.
The Political Council congratulates the President and her government for allocating a special budget for the Council of Political Parties every year. The Council is given 1.5 billion shillings. This is a good thing to see now that this Council is empowered to promote democracy and build the reconciliation in politics and better, more productive politics for the nation.
Na siasa bora zenye tija kwa taifa letu.
Stakeholders who will be involved in the general meeting will be religious institutions, civil organizations, and former political leaders. Tanzania Trade Development Authority, TanTrade, has announced that 14 countries have confirmed to participate in the 47th International Trade Fair. Speaking in Dar es Salaam, Acting Director of Business Development, TanTrade, Fortunato Zumhambe, says 114 international companies and 1,203 local companies have confirmed to participate.
We believe that we will reach the target of hosting 30 countries. This year, Sabasaba will have a new item called the Expo Village. We are going to have 114 companies in the Sabasaba Trade Fair, of which China, for instance, is considered having one company, but it has in fact rented a whole pavilion with more than 100 companies. This year is going to be different. In the past, we had individual stakeholders participating in the trade fair. However, this year we are going to have stakeholders in the Expo Village. At the mining district, we will have a huge pavilion under the Ministry of Minerals in a collaboration with the private sector. All stakeholders will be in one area.
If an investor is ready to invest, we are obligated to assist them to get their license and all required documents so that they can establish their businesses in the country. We also have the responsibility to advise the government to improve the business environment in the country so that it can attract more investors.
The International Trade Fair is expected to start from June 28th to July 14th this year, and TanTrade aims to attract participants from 30 countries. The Kagera Regional Commissioner, Fatuma Mwasa, says she will ensure all strategic projects in Bukoba municipality are implemented, including the construction of a modern market and a bus stand, to stimulate economic development in the region. The regional commissioner made the assurance during the handing over ceremony of the regional office. Here is a report prepared by Charles Mwibea, read by Lulua Muhammad.
It is an emphatic statement from the new Kagera Regional Commissioner Fatuma Mwasa during the handing over of the regional office between her and the former Regional Commissioner Albert Chalamila, who has been transferred to the Dar es Salaam region. The new Kagera Regional Commissioner explains her top priorities, including ensuring that all strategic projects in the region are completed on time.
The bus stand will be built, the market and roads, the university and ports as well. All these projects will be built on time.
In addition, she clearly expresses her frustrations on excuses in the execution of development projects.
The president has been injecting a lot of funds in Kagera, and she wants to see the projects get completed in time.
The former Kagera Regional Commissioner, who has been transferred to Dar es Salaam region, Albert Chalamila, highlights some land conflicts that need to be prioritized.
A commission was made by Prime Minister and it was led by 8 ministers. The administrative secretary will pass us through it.
Some elders in the region use the opportunity to point out important areas that need to be worked on.
If we don't work on improving people's incomes by advancing their agricultural activities, then poverty will still be a problem.
Fatuma Mwasa sets a new history for the Kagera region by being the first woman to lead the region.
Good news there for the Kagera residents. Before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now have a look on today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for the international news. National news compiled by Dorothy Murray, read by Gloria Michael.
The African Union has warned that the continent risks becoming a geostrategic battleground for competing big power interests. Its Commission Chairman Musa Faki Mahamat says Africa must resist the consequences of intensifying global rivalities that threaten to create a new Cold War. The chairman's warning was given on the 60th anniversary of the formation of the African Union's predecessors, the Organization of African Unity. Fulgence Kayishema, one of the last fugitives sought for the role in the 1994 Rwanda genocide, has appeared before a Cape Town court in South Africa 2 days after being arrested. A state prosecutor says Kayishema faces charges including genocide and conspiracy to commit genocide relating to the slaughter of more than 2,000 people in Rwanda in 1994. However, in South Africa court, he is facing charges of fraud, as when he entered South Africa, he said he was Burundian citizen seeking asylum while he is Rwandan. The International Residual Mechanism for Criminal Tribunals, MICT, the successor of the United Nations Court that prosecuted scores of major suspects, describes him as one of the world's most wanted genocide fugitives. Kayishema and others allegedly murdered more than 2,000 people who had taken refuge in a Catholic church in Nyange in Kivumu district. President Julius Maada Bio of Sierra Leone says part of the iconic cotton tree that was brought down by a storm in the capital Freetown will now be preserved in a museum. He says the tree, which stood for hundreds of years, wasn't just a tree, but a connection between the past, present, and the future, saying the preservation of the tree will be led by the Tourism and Cultural Affairs Ministry and would serve as a reminder of the country's shared heritage and history. Sierra Leonean president says the tree was a symbol of liberty for early settlers. It also appears on Sierra Leone banknotes. The 70 meters high cotton tree was said to be the oldest of its kind in the country, estimated to be 400 years old. And just 300 meters away are the Freedom Steps, climbed by newly arrived freed slaves who offered prayers at the tree before making Freetown their home.
That was international news. Sports news is up next. And in sports news, Young Africans fans have thanked President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan for promoting CAF Confederation Cup final match between Yanga and USM Alger by providing tickets and flight for the second leg match to be played in Algeria on June 3rd.
As Young African fans, we're giving many thanks to President Dr. Samia for helping our team. And as fans, we are supporting her. We promise her that Young Africans will score 4 goals to ease the second match, which will be played in Algeria, and take the trophy.
Young Africans take USM Alger in the first match of CAF Confederation Cup final to be played on Sunday before they play the second leg match in Algeria on June 3rd. All the best to Young Africans, and as the fans, they're saying, Yanga don't have Mbambamba, so we are looking forward to a great win on Sunday. Tanzania international golf player Nuru Molel from Arusha Gymkhana Club has started well in the Inspire Africa Golf Open tournament, which has kicked off today in Arusha. Molel says strong preparation before the tournament has made him to play well at the golf court, and he's confident that he will win the tournament.
We started the tournament today, and the game is very tough because the golf course is very hard. However, I have played very well. Hopefully, I will do better in the coming days.
First day of the tournament, Molel scored 77 shots as golfers from Kenya, Uganda, Ghana, South Africa, Democratic Republic of Congo, and the host Tanzania are competing for the African glory. That's the sports news. Now, before we conclude the news bulletin tonight, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Hello viewers, welcome to the next 24 hours weather forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. My name is Margaret Masawe. Wind is expected to flow at the speed of 30 kilometers per hour over the entire coast, Lake Victoria and Lake Nyasa, and 20 kilometers per hour over Lake Tanganyika. The state of the sea is expected to be moderate. Rainfall condition is still experienced in a few areas of the country, while the largest part of the country is expected to feature dry condition. Tonight we expect the whole country to feature dry condition, and tomorrow we expect partly cloudy condition and thunder showers over Kagera and Imara. Northeastern Highland, northern coast, including Morogoro, expected to feature partly cloudy condition, rain showers over a few areas and the sun periods. Lindi and Mtwara expected to feature partly cloudy condition, light rain showers over a few areas and the sun periods. The rest parts of the country expected to feature partly cloudy condition and the longer sun periods. Now let us see the next 4 days of the forecast for some regions of the country.
That marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Nasa Kingu, and we wish you a good night.
Unaangalia TBC1, ukweli